Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm Kabir, your host, and you're listening to Kahani Suno with Kabir and Sarah, where every story you hear is completely original, written here, born here, for your ears only. Today's story is called Life. Get the one you deserve. I want you to sit with that title for a moment before we begin. Because most of us out there working hard, chasing something, believing in something, and sometimes it pays off the way we expected, and sometimes it pays off in a way where we never saw coming. And sometimes, just sometimes, the things we were chasing was never the real prize. It was just the thing that caught us off the couch. This is a story about a young man and the long distance between the life you think you're building and the life you actually end up with. I think by the end of it, you'll recognize yourself somewhere in it. Let's go. Ryan Downing was 25, an orphan and going nowhere. He worked evenings at a restaurant in the English village of Ashford, carrying plates, pouring pins, watching other people's lives through the window. No savings, no plan, just the quiet, daily feeling of being left behind. One evening, his friend Priya got tired of listening to him feel sorry for himself. Go outside, she said. Take your bicycle, move your body. You can't think your way out of a stuck mind. He went. The next morning, he cycled into the countryside and found himself drawn to a gentle hill in the middle of a wide meadow. Near its crest stood a single tree, old, wide, unhurried. He sat against its trunk and, without meaning to, fell asleep. He woke with a date burned into his mind. March 17th, 10:30 a.m. Crisp and certain, like something written on glass. 4 days later, he stood at his workplace watching the clock, certain something significant was about to happen. Nothing happened. 3 days after that, he picked up a newspaper and found a notice. An auction from a nearby shop unit had just closed at exactly 10:13 a.m. on March 17th with not a single bidder. The seller had been willing to give it away. Ryan had been 100 meters away at the exact right moment, with no idea where he was supposed to be. He went back to the tree, got another date, missed another opportunity. A round the world voyage being given to whoever walked into a travel agency at the right moment. He had been waiting in the wrong street. This became the pattern. The tree gave him dates and times. He showed up somewhere, anywhere, hoping. Always the right moment, always the wrong place. Months of near misses piled up in his notebook like record of particularly unlucky life. He was ready to quit when an old man sat down beside him on a bench. Ryan had seen Gerald Marsh around town for years. Slight, slow-moving, a worn leather bag over his shoulder. He sat beside Ryan, looked at the sky and said, "Don't run. Don't run after something that is only half complete. Go for something which is fully complete." Ryan asked what he meant. The old man said, only that he had spent most of his life going to places that felt significant, never quite arriving at the right moment. Then he stood and walked away. 2 days later, Ryan learned Gerald had been admitted to hospital. He ran there and found the old man, frail but awake. When Ryan explained that he thought they might each be carrying half of the same puzzle, he had the when, perhaps Gerald had the where. Something loosened in the old man's face. He pointed silently at the leather bag on the hook behind the door. Rand took the diary inside. Gerald died the next morning. The diary was not a list of places, it was a lie of music. Gerald had been a pianist, self taught, unhailed, devoted. Decades of entries described compositions, melodies, half formed pieces scattered through them, underlined and circled were locations. They had come to Gerald while he was deep inside a composition, fragmentary at first, growing sharper with each session, arriving whole and precise at the moment a piece was finished. He would go to the location, full of hope and wait, but he never knew when to be there. He always had the place, never the time. Near the final pages, in shakier handwriting, was a single line. I have been half of a thing my whole life. I don't know how to find the other half. Two halves of one map circling each other for years in the same small village, meeting only in the last week of one of their lives. Ryan understood what Gerald's diary was telling him. The locations came through deep absorption, through losing yourself so completely in something you loved that the noise of daily life went quiet and something else, something like a signal, could finally be heard. Gerald's vehicle had been music. What was Rand's? He looked at his hand and knew immediately, and with some shame, sculpting. He had started at 17 and been genuinely gifted, and had quietly abandoned it at 23 because he had convinced himself it was pointless. A rented room, no audience, no money. He went out the next morning and bought clay. He started sculpting again, not for love, not for ambition, but because he believed it would show him where to go. The location was the prize. The sculpting was just the method. It worked. By the ninth day, deep in the work, he saw the first flash, a petrol station forecourt on the North Road. It returned with each session growing clearer. When the first piece was finished, the location was complete in his mind. He went to the tree, got the tie, cycled to the petrol station at the appointed hour. He did not win anything. He went back to the clay, made the next piece, got the next location, went to the tree for the tie, showed up at the right place at the right moment. Again, nothing. He kept going anyway because the system made sense to him and ran dawning. When a thing made sense was immovable. Near wins accumulated in his notebook, and the sculptures accumulated too, a fact he was only dimly aware of because his attention was always on the next attempt. It was Priya, a few years later, who made him see it. They were at the pub, their usual corner, and Ran was describing his latest near miss. Priya put down her glass. Ryan, there is a piece of yours in National Collection. A critic wrote half a page about you last month. There are people on the waiting list for your work, students who want to learn from you. She looked at him steadily. When did that stop counting as success? He cycled home slowly that night, trying to trace how it had happened. He had returned to sculpting not for itself, but as a tool, a means of finding location for his next attempt at winning something. He had held it at arm's length, always keeping one eye on the real prize and the work indifferent to his reasons, had done what it was always going to do. It had made him who he was. Ryan still goes to the tree, the dates still come, he still shows up at the time and plays together when the sculpture gives him a location. He still hasn't won anything significant. He had stopped minding. What he understands now is that he needed the belief in a prize to give himself permission to go back to the clay. At 25, broken and invisible, he could not have said, I will do this because I believe in my own worth. He didn't believe in it. But he could say, I will sculpt because it will show me where to go. And somewhere out there, the right time and place are waiting for me. That was enough. That was all he needed. The tree gave him the reason, Gerald gave him the method, the work gave him the life. He thinks of Gerald often, a man who played beautiful music for 8 years while treating it as merely a vehicle, who never knew what he had made. The moral, when Ryan tries to put it into words, comes out like this. The thing that encourages you to begin and the thing you actually achieve are rarely the same thing. The prize that gets you off the bench is almost never the prize you end up holding. But you have to believe in the first one completely and pursue it without reservation to arrive at the second. So don't give up. The destination you are promised and the destination you deserve are strangers to each other. And the one you deserve is always worth the journey. That's the story, and I hope it stays with you a little longer than most, because here's what I keep coming back to. Ryan spent years chasing a prize he never won, and in doing so, he built a life more meaningful than anything that prize could have given him. The encouragement came from one place, the achievement came from somewhere else entirely, and neither would have happened without the other. So whatever you're chasing right now, keep going. Even if it hasn't paid off yet, even if every attempt has fallen just short, because the work you are doing in pursuit of that thing, that work is quietly, steadily building the life you actually deserve. You just can't see it yet. If today's story meant something to you, share it with one person who needs to hear it. Subscribe, leave us a review, and come back next week. Sarah and I have another original story waiting for you. And if you feel the pull to be part of what we're building at Kahani Suno, we would love to hear from you. Every story on this podcast is original, and we are always looking for passionate, creative people who want to help us tell more of them. Reach out to me at kabir@kahanisuno.com or to sarah@kahanisuno.com. We read everything, we respond to everything. Until next time, go get the life you deserve. You are closer than you think. This is Kabir signing off from Kahani Suno with Kabir and Sarah. Take care.